Leave it 851, turn right, heading 180. Order 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
Did the latest installment of the Boeing 747 series fail? Hello everyone, welcome to DJ's Aviation. In today's video, I'll be aiming to analyse just that. The Boeing 747, or better known as the Queen of the Skies, has carried passengers for decades and decades, with multiple variants like the 747-100, 747-300, 747-400, and so many more. Most recently, it's been the 747-8 Intercontinental, or just the 747-8. However, today we sit with the question of, is the latest version a failure? To me, the 747 is an iconic aircraft and one of my favourites. So in this video, I want to make it clear I don't hate the aircraft, I'm merely proposing a question to you all. So the Boeing 747-8's core design are leaps and bounds ahead of the 747-400 series, which was in fact the previous model. There are a number of factors which prevented the 747-8 though from succeeding in today's market. As I've mentioned in previous videos of mine, twin-engine jets are becoming a very popular choice with airlines, regardless of the demand. Airlines from all corners of the globe, possibly excluding Emirates, have preferred to order a large amount of twin jets like the A350, 787 or 777, rather than ordering 10 of, let's say, the 747-8s. The first reason I've got is operational costs. Obviously, with a 4-engine jet, costs are usually going to be more than your typical twin-engine plane, like I mentioned earlier. Next, it's the range and payload. As we progress as a society, travel methods are changing and so are demands. Take a look at what Singapore Airlines are doing with their A350 ULR. The aircraft has 2 engines and is set to operate a Singapore to New York service. Or let's look at the up-and-coming 777-8. Similar to the A350 ULR, this aircraft has a massive range far exceeding anything that the 747-8 can offer. This is a huge motivator within airlines when it comes to making their choices. While a glamorous aircraft, the 747-8 in terms of range and operational costs just doesn't offer what most carriers need in today's market. A number of people don't like basing their opinion if something is a failure off a number of orders. However, I do feel it'd be wrong of me not to mention how many customers the aircraft actually has. I'll be comparing the number of orders with the Boeing 787, and while it isn't a written alternative stated by Boeing, these twin jets by Boeing have quickly become the other option to carriers who don't want to pay for a quad jet. Backtrack some 30 years, and you would have found the trend would have been with the 747. The Boeing 747-8 has 47 orders, however that number isn't completely accurate. There are a further 103 orders, but they are for the 747-8 freighter variant. This brings the total to 150. Right now, it's safe to say that the freighter variant is what is keeping the 747-8 program alive. While not gaining a huge number of orders in recent years, the 747-8 series was given a lifeline by UPS, who placed an order for 28 of the freighter variant to strengthen their operations. When it comes to comparing the 747-8 with the 787 series, I'm going to stick to utilising the 47 orders as our basis for the 747 program, purely because there isn't an official 787 freighter variant just yet. There have been 1,318 orders for the Boeing 787. The orders continue to come in every year and don't look to be slowing down. The 787 was introduced in 2007. The 747-8 was introduced 2 years earlier in 2005. Now, taking a look at the order charts featured on Wikipedia, 2006 was a big year for the 747-8 program. Certainly not to the heights of the 787. For the program itself, it was very large. However, after that, it did slow down to some degree, and from 2013 onwards, there was barely 2 orders a year for the aircraft. As I mentioned, in 2007, the newest 787 was introduced, and of course attracted attention, quite possibly steering potential 747 customers away. When you consider some of these factors, it becomes evident that the 747-8 could have certainly been a success, but market demand prevented it massively from reaching the heights that Boeing had anticipated. The market demand comes from the options that are now available to airlines because of the Open Skies Agreement and the extended twin-engine operational performance standards. The option to fly to more airports has eased the demand on airports that used to be so crammed with 747s. When I say eased, I'm talking in terms of 747s. For example, airports have now been transformed with twin-engine jets almost as far as the eye can see. Airlines are assessing travellers' habits and are utilising these twin-engine jets to start up routes also that simply aren't in enough demand to make the 747-8 viable. So what are your thoughts? Is the 747-8 a failure? If so, why do you believe this? It might be a point I haven't mentioned, or you may want to elaborate more on what I've discussed in the video. Overall, the 747 series will forever for so many people be the queen of the skies, but as the Dash 400 series begins to disappear, it becomes more evident that we won't be seeing them in all corners of the globe for much longer. I'd like to thank you very much for watching this video of mine, and I hope you'll all join me in my next one.